there's only 24 hours in a day, guys. But you know what? Beyonce
Only.
have 24 hours and she's a multi-millionaire. So can we. And the real thing that really kind of separates them from the regular, I'll say regular people with a regular 24 hours, is that they don't use their time effectively. And that's big. That is big. We have to learn to delegate, let people handle what they can handle, and you handle what you can so that you can go to the beach and still make your money.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurship podcast with X.T.C. I'm Shalonda.
I'm Tristan.
And I'm Chris.
As an entrepreneur starting or growing your business, you may have a destination, but the journey getting there can be a trip. We want to be your travel companions and inject a dose of X.T.C as we explore real-life conversations about navigating the world of entrepreneurship in the U.S. and the Caribbean. Come take this trip with us. Hey trippers, do we have another exciting episode for you guys? We have Brenda Cotto, a certified master life and business coach. But listen, we're talking about growing or not to grow, or to be a serial entrepreneur or not to be a serial entrepreneur. We got a lot to unpack in this episode. But before we do, what you sipping while you tripping?
Yo, Chris, she be practicing. Like I thought I did those perfect intros into the segment. She had me. I was about to be like, oh yeah, I'm over here. I had to get something a little colder. I don't want to pretend like there's like a little chilled rum or something. You can see like the little condensation in the glass.
Mhm.
Nice and
Nice.
chill now because Brenda's so
Sipping,
cool that we
Tristan.
about to be hanging with Brenda for a few.
So what are you drinking, Brenda? What you bring here today?
Oh, today I'm bringing. If you know me, I love my coffee, so I'm on my coffee cup that says I'm kind of a big deal. Let's do this.
Kind of a big
I
deal.
was
You
gonna
are
say.
a big deal, girlfriend.
Kind of.
How about you, Shalonda?
I have a really nice glass of water. I
Nice.
had my
Oh,
coffee, I had my libation. It was after 12 o'clock, and now I need my hydration.
What
So,
about you, Tristan?
oh me, I'm going with some chilled water. That's where I'm gonna go with for this episode.
Chilled water.
Nice.
Chilled water.
Don't
At
bring me
some
that room
point,
temperature
he's in the
garbage.
island, so he needs
you
some
know,
water.
in other words, they were saying I had to cool out with all the drinking I was doing, so now I'm chilling out.
Alrighty. Do
And
we have a triple threat, Chris?
as usual, I'm able to keep going with my libations because I still got my agua here and my cafe, so I'm ready to go and regulate as needed. If I need an upper, if I need a downer, if I need to chill out, I got it going.
I'm starting to feel like Chris is pulling like the illusionist trick. Because all his cups always look the exact same from every episode. I've never seen him finish a drink on the show. He's that guy that's out here like, yeah, I'm out here just drinking, chilling. He like,
It's a marathon, not a
he had that
sprint,
same
Chris.
cup all night. I saw how he did that. I saw how he did that. We better start unpacking quick.
Let's do it.
Yup. All right, we're going to unpack this conversation, but let me just give you a little sneak peek into who Brenda is. If you don't know who this fabulous woman is, I have had the distinct pleasure of knowing her over 20 plus years. No, we're not dating ourselves because we're only 25.
Yeah.
And she looks
Kindergarten was
fabulous.
a great place.
I know, right? But she is a master of empowering women to be resilient. Don't be jealous, guys. But you can also
No,
be
no.
confident in achieving the life and business of your dreams. With the no bull, full centered strategy, she develops a clear cut plan for achieving success that has stand the test of time.
Mm.
She's a wife of 26 years of her high school sweetheart, and they are so freaking cute together. Her and she calls him Mr. Cotto. I'm like, they are so cute. And two beautiful daughters, and our daughters went to school together. So It's been a long time we've known each other, and it's just been great to see, Brenda, your evolution and your journey as a bystander. So we really want to unpack what's going on. You're currently running multiple successful companies. And so in the Entrepreneur's Trip, we've been targeting people who are thinking of starting their business or trying to grow one business, but you got multiple.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
tell us, what is that like? Is it
it's
like
fun.
living
Fun.
in
Yeah, if I
She
really
said
think
it's
about
fun.
it, it is fun because you are really operating in your skills and your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing is certain as we start unfolding this topic is to start with something, one thing, right? Get really good at that, and then start to launch off on the other things. All the great people that we know that are millionaires and multi millionaires started with one thing, but then they launched out in many many different things. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's just to start talking about this. Yeah, we I have the coaching, but also the studio when it comes to art, and also empowerment. So yeah, just to name a few.
Mm.
So
So
tell us, when you let take us back when you first started. You said to start with one. What was that one business that you started with?
Awesome question. Oh my goodness. Well, I used to work with a doctor back in 1995, 96, and he was
Mm-hmm.
horrible. He was just a horrible boss, right? And I was a manager. I mean, I used to work for Nabisco, and then I went and, veered off into this medical thing because I love doctor. I love that whole thing. And he was just awful. And right there, an opportunity knocked at my door. And I'm pretty sure you guys know a lot of network marketing companies out there. And I started with one of them. And I'm telling you, I quickly came up the ranks. I said, okay, wow. And I started into the entrepreneurial, whole life. And this is why I say there's so much opportunities nowadays that if you really are considering, you might not have the skills or even the training or even the certification or even the degree, you can start there. And because of mentorship, you can walk yourself out of a job into a business. Now, it's not for everyone. That started for me.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, 6 to 9 months later, I quit that job. I literally quit the job, and I went full force into my company with my husband, and we started to help people from there. And then everything else becomes what I call a story, because there's so many things after you start helping people. Oh my goodness, that's our joy is like to help people
yep.
become successful, right? And success for so many people look different, but for me was like just like focusing on getting those moms home, you know
Mm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
getting those moms home because they were tired of being tired, just like the same thing that I was experiencing. A horrible boss. It was overworked, underpaid. I opened the place, I closed the place, and no money to show. So I started
Yeah.
there,
Well,
and then everything evolved.
so
Mm.
was it a
Awesome.
silent quit or was it like I gave him my 2 weeks type of quit?
It was like I was kind. I mean, some people just that I worked with, that was actually, I was training a whole bunch of people. They just quit on the spot. It was so bad. It was so toxic, that environment. But I give them the courtesy of 2 weeks. Yeah, I said, you know what? I just want to let you know this is my last day, baby. And he was like, what? You cannot leave me. I said, oh yes, I can. And I did. I sure did. I said, I'll give you the 2 week notice. To at least he could train somebody. Could never get anyone. He got his wife back in the place. Oh my gosh. But it's just, it was just toxic, that kind of toxic. But yeah. So no, it was 2 weeks for
Mm.
sure.
And that's important, I think, like when you're moving on or going through a transition. It's interesting because I was watching the Kardashians. Now, listen, I'm working on my PhD, so I needed to veg out and look at something that doesn't require any mental capacity. So my toxic choice was the Kardashians. But one of the things Chris Jenner said in her master class that really resonated with me, she was like, the same people that you experience going up
Yes.
are the same people you might experience coming down. So you don't want to burn any
Yep.
bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm,
So that 2 weeks, right? Even though you know that you hopefully would never have to turn that path away,
Yep.
go that path again, at least you're not burning bridges, right? You're giving that person the grace to be able to do what they need to do. And as entrepreneurs that have small businesses, we would want the same thing, right? So you're kind of extending the same thing that you would want if a team member was leaving. So
Yes.
that's powerful. That speaks to your character, which I know is just amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
when we
So,
let's just go back one more time. We when we met, you were in sales,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And it was in the healthcare field. That's how we connected. And even back then, there was always you were always doing something else. There was always something else. So you started your marketing company, but what propelled you to also do something else?
That's so good. Well, I'm home. Let's say now I'm free. I have all this time. Because, when you build this type of business that I'm talking about, you have that residual income and
Mhm,
you're home twiddling your fingers saying, okay, what am I going to do now? Because, I don't do the 9 to 5. And the same mentor that actually worked with me in my company actually says, I have an opportunity for you now. This is not a job because it isn't. It's a contractual agreement, which you work
mhm,
whenever, however you want. I said, absolutely, bring it on. So
mhm,
that's with the Xerox Corporation, which by the way, I'm still a contractor with them.
mhm,
But now they're just like nobody can. I don't mean to say I'm kind of a big deal, but I think I am, right? Like, now I'm like the whole territory manager, and I get to do that in my downtime, right? And yes, it
mhm,
is a job, but I do it, again, I work with my schedule very closely because as you see, there's multiple companies and I have clients, and so this whole part of delegation is big for entrepreneurship. That's another thing.
mm,
If you can, if
mm.
you can get
Oh no,
people to
go, mama, go.
yeah.
Go. I didn't want to
So
scoot closer. I'm not even scooting closer. I forgot I can't walk through the screen. I was like,
yeah, you're gonna need to if you want to
delegation,
be big.
collaboration.
There's only 24 hours in a day, guys. But you know what?
Only.
Beyonce have 24 hours, and she's a multi-millionaire. So can we. And the
mhm,
real thing that really kind of separates them from the regular, I say regular people with a regular 24 hours, is that they don't use their time effectively, and that's big. That is big. We have to learn to delegate, let people handle what they can handle, and you handle what you can, so that you can go to the beach and still make your money. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
I'm just
mhm.
saying. So there's parts, honestly, that I do not touch, and I'm getting way better at that because I'm very much of a control freak. I mean, it's like, oh, only me, I can do this way. But then again, no, there's somebody that is well equipped that will love
Mm,
this job or this, responsibility that can do it 10 times faster and better than we can,
mm.
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
So,
mhm,
and that is where the trust comes, and then again, how big you want your company will see. It's look and see your team. Is your team effective? Do you have a good team? If not, then we need to like fire them and get people that are really reliable.
mhm, mhm.
Just saying.
You could have kept going. You got about 30 more. I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of things
Yeah.
that you said that, like, I've been fighting with Shalana on, and I really want to hit this detour because I want to start talking about it, delegating versus collaborating. It's been a while.
Tristan's still
It's
fighting
been a
this.
while.
I know
Chris,
he
like,
can't let
this
it
is
go.
like
He's like a
that part.
dog
You
with
gotta
a
let it go. You
bone
gotta let it go.
already.
No, I'm not letting it go. Like, okay, like, it's dope. Team left. I see how Chris is treating us, Brenda. You see how they do. We don't. We will collaborate with Team Right, and we'll delegate the next segment to Tristan, in which he would facilitate the beautiful way of finding out when to collaborate or delegate. Let's go.
Let's go.
I mean, kind of a big deal, right, Brenda? Just kind of a big deal,
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just,
Just to be humble.
I mean, just no need to. No need to. I mean, we're all great
I'm
here.
just gonna say you've got to toot your own horn in business. You have to, right?
Mhm,
Because sometimes in the night hour, in the dark hour, you're like, oh, I wonder if I'm equipped for this. I wonder if I'm smart enough to do
That's
this.
true.
And you've got to say to yourself, I am the person for this job. I am the person for this business. So if nobody tells you, get a cup, just like me, and let's go to town, right? Because you got it. Honestly, we all do. We all do. It just takes a little while for us to see the fruits of it, but boy, yeah. So let's unpack. What we unpacking now?
So what we're gonna detour to is, Brenda. When do you decide when to delegate or when to collaborate?
Okay, this is so good. So we delegate on these assignments really that are just taking a lot of your creative time, right?
Mm.
So if you're finding yourself, you're not a website person. What are you doing a website? Delegate that,
Thank you. Thank
right?
you.
Yeah, that's like,
Can we get
and I
some
know I
claps?
struggle with that. I mean, just give it to a professional. Yes, you might have to, and guys, pay somebody good, because I mean, cheap is really expensive, I must
It's
say.
called what you
Yep.
call is what you pay for is what you get. That's how we call it. What you pay
Yes.
for is what you get.
So there's things that you cannot outsource because you're it. You're the heartbeat of the company. Collaboration opens doors for other opportunities. That's really how I see it. Can I collaborate like we're collaborating today? I might be seeing somewhere in the world that somebody's going to need my services, right? I'm collaborating right now. Nobody can do this part of this business for me. I have to show up, right?
Mm.
But guess what? All the meetings, all that other stuff can be outsourced. I can have, like I do, I have my office assistant. She answers the email, she kind of clears it up and say, okay, this is something that is important. So I can have more time, dealing with my clients and with the most important things that really brings in the revenue. Everything else, we gotta outsource. Collaboration, open doors. So for more business, is it a good partnership, collaborating, is this person somebody in my same frame of work? Are we talking the same language? And sometimes it might just be good friendship, that just being around, they'll
Right.
just benefit from you. But no, we're trying to get paid. Let me just say, we're, we're trying
It's
to
just
get paid. Okay, I have
real.
no.
It's about the coins,
Love it.
people.
Which I saw that's one of, let's get the Benjamins, right? No, we're really
Mm.
about that. And yes, we need to also learn when some things are free, but also when we need to charge. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, so
Mhm.
in a heartbeat, compiling everything, that's like, there's some things, guys. Honestly, don't waste your time. For all of the audience that are listening, you doing the work. Get someone that's better at it. It's gonna get done faster. It's gonna be more. It's gonna be more pretty. Let me just say, these colors, like down island colors. I didn't want to say that, but weird colors.
You
You
good,
know
you
what I'm
good.
saying? No, let's keep it professional for your brand and for your, what you're trying to do,
Yep.
yeah.
Man, this I love how you preach to this choir. You got any notes to sing, Shalanda? I mean,
Yeah, I noticed that she spoke very highly about when to collaborate, how to collaborate, and also how to delegate.
delegate.
There's
Mm.
some
Mm-hmm.
things
But
you
there's a
cannot,
difference
guys, there's some
between
things you cannot delegate. This is you've got to do this. This is your voice. This is your essence. This is who you are. But then I see it often in coaching, where there's people, you're wasting time in things that are not producing you profits, in things that are like years are going to pass you by, you trying to get the perfect program, or no, just put something out there. We'll streamline it as we go. Like right now,
Right.
we just streamline it. We're gonna get the marketing. We're gonna get all of that stuff eventually, and then that perfection too, right? We're trying to get everything perfect, which that's the kiss of death, to be honest.
Thank you. I always felt like
Mhm.
perfection lacks creativity. But we'll move on to grab some souvenirs.
All righty. Wow. Brenda dropped a lot of really good information on this episode. So let's just do a couple of souvenirs. The first one is, don't waste times on things that somebody else can do better, right? Have those individuals do it so that it frees you up to focus on the things that only you can do.
And we
And
call
when it
that
comes,
delegation.
Ah.
really, Chris, you're on this side of the screen.
That is delegation, is it not? Assigning the task as opposed to collaborating on the task.
It's sounding like you're staying on the lower half of the screen. No, you're right. You got to know when to delegate,
That's
right?
right.
And
You
how to
do.
delegate and who to delegate to be able to get the output and
Yep.
what it is that you're hoping. So, yes, yes, Chris. I can see that that is delegation.
I
But
heard
she
the
also
stress in
spoke
it,
about
Chris.
collaboration, right? Knowing who to
You do.
collaborate with, how to collaborate, what projects you're going to collaborate, why are you collaborating. It's really to increase that capacity. And I think basically what Brenda has affirmed in her conversation is that both of us are right, Tristan.
Yes.
By far, and at no point in time, I want anybody to ever believe that I was saying Shalana was wrong or Shalana ever said that I was wrong. We never said that. We might argue, might agree to disagree, but that was definitely one of the things where I felt we both wholeheartedly supported each other despite the little difference in our views, because you do have to know when to delegate and
Mm-hmm.
when to slight
Mm-hmm.
difference, but you got to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they seem to go hand in hand, but knowing when to do both is very, very, very important. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're right, big sis.
Ah, so are you. The other souvenir that I would say, the other souvenir is that start something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Start that one thing, right? You started with one business. Now you have multiple, but because you were effective in delegating, you were effective in staying focused, you were effective in marketing and really getting your audience, you were able to refine that one thing while also expanding to other companies, right?
that,
Right.
that's
So,
correct.
did you
That's
want to
correct.
I
add
got one.
anything? Joe?
Yeah, I would just like to say that if you're focused, right? So many of us were chasing so many different, I call it the shiny object syndrome, where it's like, where's this shiny
Mm-hmm.
thing? Oh, and this and that, but we'd never master one thing to then really be like confident in that one thing, right? And then that thing,
Mm-hmm.
because this is the thing, people are afraid to start and stay at one thing. Listen, guys, we're not trees. We can pick up and
Hmm.
move on to something else, right? So it's so important to say, okay, I'm great at speaking. If it's speaking, if it's maybe writing, I don't know, whatever you're really good at, start there. And that's really my always my go-to. It's like, what are you good at? What is it people, what are people looking for you for? You know, what problems you're answering, what people are calling you. And listen, what about this? Maybe baking. My daughter have a bakery. So why? Because she's only 15 now. She started when she was 12. You kidding me? And I saw it. I said, "Oh, girl, you're good." And she said, "You think, Mom?" I said, "Of course you're good. Let's try. Let's try with one cake. Let's put it out there and see." And now
That's it.
she's doing weddings. 15, 15,
Wow.
Wow.
right? And I know that's not where she's gonna stay because she already voiced, I want to do other things. Perfect. You can change anytime you feel it's time to change.
Mm.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good.
my
She
souvenir is we're
dropping
not
those.
trees. Yeah, we're not trees, so we're gonna move on
And
to
taking the
taking the
view.
view.
Yeah.
That got stuck
Yeah,
there for a
you saw
second.
how we collaborated on that one. She didn't even have to delegate
That was
that to me.
smooth. That was smooth.
I, I we
Yes.
gotta bring Brenda back. I'm loving her.
All right.
Thank you.
Continuing with the two quote trend here. The first one I have here, kind of to sum up this episode, is, and this is based off what Brenda was saying about, just you have to have the confidence to go out and do it. So this one is from J.M. Barrie, and he said, "The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it."
Mm.
So don't doubt your ability to do it. Get out there and get it done. And then this one is from Jessica Jackley. I believe this actually might be a recycled quote that I've used on another episode, but it works here. Is deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do.
Yeah.
And that's talking about our conversation about delegation and collaboration. But Brenda, I mean, very interesting of what you've done here. And I mean, I think the big thing for me, because I can honestly, admittedly get very distracted by the shiny, bright things. But I think the big thing that I took away from this conversation is, that you really have to build that one thing and become really good at it first, make that successful before you start branching off. So why don't you, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about, what the businesses are that you do and kind of how that journey's evolved into branching off into other things. So what is kind of what's been your journey in that road?
Beautiful. Yeah. I love your quotes, by the way. Let me just say that competence breeds confidence,
Mm.
right? When
Mm.
we start something, right? You start to see yourself, dang, I didn't die. Good. Awesome. And you start to take more chances. Yeah, that is my go-to statement. When you feel the fear, that's a good indication this is something you need to be doing,
Mm.
right? Because things that are comfortable, you don't feel it. So you do it and you start to look back and say, wow, dang, I didn't die. This is great. Let me try it again. And your confidence goes up. For me, the journey was that I said, dang, I did good. It's like, wow, I opened my mouth, people bought. I opened my mouth. I developed a set of skills with my personal life, where I wanted to free women the same way I freed myself when it comes to the 9 to 5. You know how many people want to release and let go of that 9 to 5? They want to be in that creative zone, right? So when I did that, then I started to do, like I said, contracting with the Xerox Corporation, still do up to today on my time. Doing that, just like, that's easy, guys. That's just like, I could do that in my sleep, right? That wasn't challenging. So I needed more challenge. I needed something stimulating. Come on, guys. I don't know about you. Sometimes it's like, you're like, okay, this is great, but I'm not stimulated I'm not feeling life.
Right.
What's going on? And then I started to get calls. It's like, Brenda, teach me how you did that. Brenda, how do you do this? How do you use, and this is my program. My program is the 8 parts of life, the wheel of life, where I talk about your significant other, your fun. And listen, we had to have fun as well. It's not all about work, right? Personal growth. And I'm looking at my wheel here: your health, your home environment, your money, your career. So they saw that. And I love to say, I'll never tell my people to do something I've never done or I'm willing to do. No. Right? So if I've done it, right? If I've done it, I'm going to show you, because I have how would you call it? A trajectory. I have the blueprint, and that's what I do. I do the blueprint from there. So what happened is I say, you know what? I started coaching. People started paying me for coaching, and they got some incredible results. I got people that have written books. They are doing seminars. I mean, if you, I'm so proud of my clients, because you know what? They came out that comfort zone. They said, you know what, Brenda, you're right. I need to come out of the comfort zone, because that's one of the things I see the most. The comfort zone is not comfortable. That
Comfort zone is death.
It's not, because we're going without with so much talent, with so much potential. I find that is one of the most scariest thing, to die with so much potential inside, untapped. So I pulled that out. I said, what are you good at? Let's pull this out. Yes, you might have your 9 to 5. And then I started coaching. And then I said, you know what? People are saying, are you certified? Dude, can't you see my results? Do I need to be certified? No. Right? But you know what? Just to show a paper, I went and get the certification. I would even say that. You don't need no certification. If you've got results, go for it. I've got 26 years and an awesome marriage. Yes, I can talk about marriage. I can't talk about marriage, I think. Right? And the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that is still an enduring thing. You still gotta forgive. You gotta still, it's a relationship thing, it's work, right? And so that's my journey. We've gone from here, got a certification. From here, I've done master classes, one-on-ones. I mean, doing conferences. I talk in front of thousands of people. And I just love to inspire, motivate. I mean, I want you, when you leave here today, whenever you're hearing this, that you say, you know what, I'm going to go start that business. I'm going to start it, because I can do it. Yeah.
Love it.
Damn.
Yes. So there is more. So you guys tune in next week, because we're going to stay with Miss Brenda and hear more about her journey and what she's doing. And that was just the appetizer. So come back next week for the main course. All right, Trippers. We'll talk to you soon. You take care.
See you next week, Trippers.
Thank you for taking this trip with us. We hope you had a great time. Join us every Tuesday for another dose of X.T.C. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and visit us at theentrepreneursstrip.com for more entrepreneurship tips and trips. See you next time.